What's up, everyone? On today's video, we're going over a map tour of Monmouth County, New Jersey. We're going to cover everything from the location, school districts, housing options, and a few others. But before we get started, if it's your first time to the channel, my name is Steve McCutcheon, and I'm a realtor at Berkshire Hathaway. On the Live in Central New Jersey channel, we cover everything related to the Central Jersey real estate market. So if you want to be the first one to know what's going on in either Monmouth or Ocean County real estate, feel free to click the bell, hit the subscribe button. Let's get this video started. All right, guys, so we're going to kick it off. Very first thing we want to cover is going to be the location. So as you can see, Monmouth County is going to be outlined right here. And it's going to be pretty much in the central part of New Jersey and plus a little bit on the Jersey Shore. It's actually the beginning part of the Jersey Shore too. If you zoom out here, I'll kind of give you a better look at it for just in terms of New Jersey. So Jersey will come all the way down here, curve in a little bit for Philadelphia, goes back out, up north, and around. So I would say the western side of Monmouth County is literally going to be as central as you possibly can get. Then it goes a little farther east as well, kind of borders close to New York City and also Philadelphia, which is great for working, which we'll get to a little bit later. The population in Monmouth County is going to be about 643,000 residents. So it's a decently sized county. I think it's the fifth most populated in Monmouth. It kind of varies year by year a little bit, but the last one I checked was going to be fifth. Has 53 towns and municipalities in it, with Howell being the largest by area. Middletown is going to be the largest by population. 661 square miles makes up the entire entirety of Monmouth County. Not all of it's going to be land, though. About 3/4 that would be land or so, and then another quarter is going to be obviously water. It's border in Middlesex County, Ocean County, Mercer County, and also Burlington. And the Jersey Shore will range all the way from at the top here in Sandy Hook all the way south down into Manasquan. That's going to be about 27 miles of beaches. So we are probably one of the biggest destination towns or biggest destination areas on the East Coast because of this. And yeah, that's pretty much about what makes Monmouth County is what it is. It's a very nice area, and we're kind of dive down a little bit deeper into like the nuances of it. So the first thing or the second thing you're going to want to know is going to be the commute to work. A lot of people that live in Monmouth County, I don't know why my screen's bugging out right there. A lot of people that live in Monmouth County want to make, or have to make pretty good money because we have an expensive area we are to live, especially in New Jersey. So a lot of them will work in New York City up here and to the north, or they'll work to the west in Philadelphia. Now, depending on where you live is probably going to be the best place for you to commute. And there's quite a few different ways to get to each location, or I should say quite a few ways to get to New York, pretty much only one way to get to Philadelphia. So with New York City, you have 4 different options that you can possibly do. You can either drive yourself, take the train, take the bus, or take the ferry over, believe it or not. So there's a lot of major roadways. The first one, or the biggest one, I would say, is going to be the Garden State Parkway. This is going to run north to south, and it's one of 2 major highways in Monmouth, or one of 2 major highways in New Jersey, and the only one that's going to be located in Monmouth. Slightly to the west, just outside of it, is going to be the New Jersey Turnpike. That's going to be through Route 95 right here, and that's also going to be our other major highway in here. Both these are going to be toll roads, and they run north to south as well, and they eventually cross once you hit the Middlesex County area up here. Other than that, we do have some other major highways. Route 195 is going to go east to west across the southern part of Monmouth County. The more central part is going to be Route 33 across here. They're both pretty smooth rides. Route 195 has no lights on it, while Route 33 does have some. It's still a very nice ride. It's going all the way across. There's not going to be as many as some other areas around. You got Route 9, 18, 34, and 35 over here. Those are all going to run north to south. And it kind of depending on where you live is which one you're going to use. 9, I'll say the more central part of New Jersey, or New Jersey, but then also Monmouth County. Route 18 kind of goes either way. 34 and 35 probably more on the eastern borders. 9 and 35, as we'll show you later, have a lot of different shopping options. Those are 2 pretty big highways to use. Now, when it comes to driving yourself into, let's just say, New York City, the time frame, I just picked Marlboro as a destination right here. That's going to run you about, it says, 1 hour 10 up to 2 hours and 10 minutes. So obviously that's going to be a pretty large discrepancy right there. But as you can see, the majority of the route, you got a little bit of stop and go traffic here, but the majority of the part of the time you're in New Jersey, it's relatively pretty smooth. Once you hit that Newark Airport area, you start to see it get backed up and a little bit more congested, but the majority of it is going to be in New York City, which is like right here, or if you take this route going through 278. Those are going to be your high traffic areas, but so it could take you 1 hour probably to get to the Newark Airport from Marlboro, let's just say, but then another hour on top of that possibly to get into New York City. Again, it's going to depend on traffic, how bad rush hour is, the weather that day, if it's really rainy. It really all depends. So ballpark though, let's say it's on a decent day, an average day, I would say from Marlboro about 1.5 hours, and that's going to vary obviously depending on where you are in Monmouth County. If you go to the southern part in like Howell, even down to Manasquan, that could take you upwards of 2 hours. If you're a little farther out west, about the same thing. If you're farther out west, instead of taking the Garden State Parkway, you'd actually be better off hopping onto Route 95 or the Turnpike and taking that up north as well. So again, that's going to kind of depend on where you're at and where you're located. But anywhere in Monmouth County, let's say you're in the northern part in Manasquan, Aberdeen, to all the way down in where I say Howell and Manasquan, it's going to range anywhere between like an hour to hour 15, all the way down to 2 hours. If it's terrible that day, maybe a little bit longer than that if you're in the southern part. So it all just going to depend on where you're at. The best routes to take if you're in the Central Jersey area would probably be Route 9 all the way up to the Garden State Parkway or Turnpike. If you're on the eastern part, using the Garden State Parkway with no lights, being able to go pretty much 80 miles per hour with no issues down there, that's probably going to be your best bet in that area. And then you have the train, or I'm sorry, if you want to go out to Philadelphia real quick, I'll just give you that one. I did this one from Howell. Realistically, if you're going to be living in the southern part of Monmouth County, this is going to be a little bit more accessible. I would say from here to from Howell to Philadelphia, an hour 20, hour and a half is really realistic. I live in the northern part of Brick, and that's about how long it takes me to get there. So if you live a little bit closer, 195, it's going to be about the same distance. So if you're in the farther east part, let's just say maybe like that Belmar Asbury area, you could go up to about 2 hours. Freehold, Howell, Millstone, you're probably looking at between like an hour 15, hour and a half at the absolute most. But unfortunately, there's really no bus or train that takes you out that way. Definitely no ferry either. And that's just going to be limited to driving yourself. So that's pretty much your only option. Back to New York, you can take the bus, train, or the ferry over. We'll start off with the train real fast. As you can see, all the way down from Manasquan, it goes down to Bay Head, but this is going to be the North Jersey coastline. So it goes from Bay Head in Ocean County all the way up to Newark Penn Station. So you really don't have to get off the same line. Sometimes is it Long Branch? I think it's Long Branch or Red Bank. I'm pretty sure it's Long Branch. You might have to get off to a different line and then just take the same train all the way, or a different train all the way up, but it's going to be on the same rail. You really don't have to worry about it. It's just a different train that you have to board. Sometimes they have a express and other times they're not going to be. The train from Manasquan all the way up to Penn Station is going to be roughly about 2 hours. Hazlitt, Aberdeen, Mattawan, that's probably about like an hour 10-ish, somewhere in that range. And I would say the halfway point again would probably be like that Long Branch location. So it's about like an hour and a half-ish. So anywhere between about an hour 10 all the way down to 2 hours would take the train from Monmouth County into Penn Station. Another option is going to be taking the bus. This one I did for Freehold Raceway Mall. They have it down to an hour and 7 minutes. This is going to be on NJ Transit. I can tell you that's definitely not happening in that time frame from the Freehold to about South Amboy. That's going to run you about 30, 35 minutes. So then from there, which is pretty much borders with Aberdeen, that's basically saying from there until you get into New York City, it's going to take another half an hour. Highly disagree with that one, unless they have an express routes, only bus routes. And even with that, with the amount of traffic and lights over on Route 9, I don't think that's realistic. So I would still plan accordingly for at least an hour and a half on that end. And you could pretty much find a bus stop in most locations so Route 9 is obviously going to have a bunch of them between Howell, Freehold, Manalapan, Marlboro up this way, but you're also going to have some across the eastern border of Monmouth County as well. Sometimes with the eastern part, you're better off taking an Academy bus line, which is a separate company from NJ Transit. But regardless, either one you take, you're going to find a bus option pretty much in every single town in Monmouth. Feel free to do a little bit more digging on that, where your stop might be, depending on where you live, but you can find one from anywhere. I would use the same driving times as taking the bus. So, an hour 15 from the most northern part down to about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 on a bad traffic day in the most southern part of Monmouth County. The last option you're going to want to possibly take is going to be the ferry. The problem with the ferry is obviously it's only going to be located in one other area, or you can only get to in one area pretty much in Monmouth County. That's going to be the most northeastern part. Probably should open up the link real fast. So as you can see, they have 3 different locations. You have the Highlands, Atlantic Highlands, and Belford, which are all going to be in the northeastern part. So Belford is going to be in Middletown. It's a part of Middletown. So if you live in the eastern or the northeastern part of Monmouth County, this might be a very good option for you. Pretty much from the Highlands, Atlantic Highlands area into Wall Street District right over here, that's going to run you about 45 minutes. So if you live up here and it takes you about 15 minutes, maybe just to get to one of the ferries, you park, you hop on, your commute time is going to be much, much faster than some other people that are going to have to drive, even taking the train too. So it's a pretty good option. Not everyone could do it. It's a little bit more expensive than taking the bus or the train, but highly still recommend if you're living maybe in that, obviously that Middletown area where these are, Highlands, Rumson's up there, even Red Bank. Red Bank has a train, but maybe you want to take this instead. It's a really good possibly a really good option for you to do so. Next up, we're going to want to cover the school districts in Monmouth County, and this is going to be a big reason why a lot of families move into our area. So first off, we're going to have we'll do public schools first. The best public school district we have here is going to be in Homedale. That's rated number 1. This is all going to be according to niche.com. Some people use Great Schools, use whichever website you want, but I'm just going off a niche. So we have Homedale taking the top spot. That's rated an A. Upper Freehold is going to be an A. Freehold Regional High School District, separate from each, their own districts in themselves. This is just going to be the high schools. And they go in between Freehold Township, Freehold Borough, Howell, Manalapan, Marlboro, and Colts Neck. So that's going to be the six that make up that. Then you have Manasquan School District and Wall round out the top five. So pretty much Wall and Manasquan are going to be in like your southern portion. You have Freehold's going to be in the more center part. Upper Freehold's going to be very far west, more towards that turnpike area that we were talking about. And then Homedale's going to be kind of in your northeastern section. So pretty much anywhere you go in Monmouth County, you can probably find a top five school district for your child or children to grow up in. So it's pretty hard to kind of miss on that end. And if you go a little farther down, you have some other ones. Matawan, Aberdeen is going to be sixth. Middletown and Haslam going to be in the northern part. So all three of those are going to be in the more northern part. Again, you really can't go wrong. These are all pretty good districts. And then New Jersey for themselves in general are going to rank, I think it's either second or third. Every list is going to vary a little bit that you find online, but most of them consistently have New Jersey as second or third in the entire country for school districts. And, we pay a hefty price in property taxes. So I hope we do have good school districts because I would say about 50% probably go towards your 50% of your property taxes will go towards school districts in most areas around here, if not even more than that. So we should have good districts because of it. But it's also an extremely great place to raise a family because of having a school district. And there's obviously many others, low crime rate and a couple other things. But the best public school itself is not just going to be in the district. It's going to be High Tech High. It actually ranks third in the state. And you can go there if you live in like the Monmouth County area. Your child has to apply. It's a little separate from just like it's like a little separate, I would say, from the districts themselves. Next on, if you want to move over to the private schools, the number one school that's going to take the cake will be Ranny. This is going to be located over in Tinton Falls. It's basically going to a prep school or college school. Kind of gives you that same vibe to it. You kind of see from the photo right there a little bit. But this one's going to cost you a very pretty penny. The seniors in high school, so they have K through 12 there. The kindergarten, I think they even have preschool too, but half and full days. But let's just say on the lower end, maybe like that kindergarten range, you're probably going to be paying, I don't know, 14, 15,000. I don't know the exact number on the website in front of me, but I know once you hit a senior in high school, it goes all the way up to about like $32,000, $34,000. So they do have financial aid, student aid, financial aid, and then some other programs possibly to help out with that and alleviate the cost a little bit. So sometimes you have athletes coming from outside the area, they go there and get helped out a little bit in that way. But Rainey School is excellent. Highly recommend checking out. It's got an A+. It's probably one of the better private schools in our area as well. But it is going to cost you, like I said. Heading on down the list, you got Red Bank Catholic. This is also going to be a pretty good one. It's located in Red Bank. It's going to be coming in at number 2 on our list. It's going to rate an A. Christian Brothers Academy is going to be 3. CBA is also known as CBA. So CBA is going to be an all boys high school, whereas the previous two of those are going to be co-ed. So it's a little bit different there. Christian Brothers is a very good athletics program. Well-rounded too. It's not just one sport. It's pretty much all of them. A lot of people that go there, a lot of the guys that go there, they're going there for specifically that reason. Not people do go there for the academics. Don't get me wrong. It's still a very good academic school, but most of the time, a lot of people that go there, they're going to be going there for the athletics programs. You got St. John Vianney. It's going to be located in Homedale, and then Voyagers Community is going to be there, ranking in at 5th. So the top, 3 to 4 schools there, pretty much actually all 4, I guess, realistically. It would be in that middle to northern half of Monmouth County. So Tinton Falls for Rainey is probably the most southern point, and they go up north from there. But these are also really good schools. Highly recommend checking them out if you had the funds to do so. They are excellent. They help your children really get prepared for college. The fourth thing we're going to want to cover is going to be the housing options. Now, Monmouth County has a wide array of different housing options. The lowest one you see listed here on the left, that's going to be Neptune. That's going to be somewhere in the central right here, a little bit more towards the eastern part. And they have a $65,000 mobile home up for sale, right? You go the other end of the spectrum, we'll shoot for the highest price one that's currently listing. That's going to be $28 million over in Colts Neck. So Colts Neck is going to be a much wealthier area. Their average sales price is going to be much higher than Monmouth County's. Monmouth County is roughly median sales price about $650,000, whereas Colts Neck is probably going to be somewhere around it's definitely 7 figures, but I'll say like 1.1, 1.2, just say on the low end, probably going to be their median because you have some that are going to be lower than that, but it just kind of give you an idea of where it's at. So we have everything from a 1-bed mobile home all the way up to this one has 10 bedrooms right below this, but a 7-bedroom mansion sitting on, I think there's horse stables in this one. I looked it up before, but it's a wide array of different homes and different styles. So you have different price ranges, one, but also you're going to have different lot sizes as well. If we hop on this map real fast, I'll pick a shore town, for instance. What we got here? Belmar. If we zoom in here, kind of gives you an idea. Those are just blocks. Those aren't lots. If you zoom in farther, you'll see different lot sizes. So, pretty much right on top of each other. I mean, you're gonna have a gorgeous view of the water and like the beach over here in Belmar. It's a great area. But one on the very first block, one row in, you're talking almost $2 million there, 3.1, $3.2 million. And that's going to be for a very nice home, but it's also going to be, right on top of your neighbor at the same time. So you kind of have to figure out like, okay, if I want to spend that kind of money, am I someone that wants more land, a couple acres, or am I someone that wants to be, closer to the water? Because that's going to play a difference into the price as well. So typically, you get a lot size that's 50 by 100 in other townships, you might be paying $500,000 for it. But there's limited space when you're dealing with the Jersey Shore. We don't have a lot of land that you can be built upon the East Coast. So these lot sizes, as you see, being smaller, put it this way, there's not going to be a developer that comes in, buys up a ton of land over there, knocks down every home, and puts in a 100-house subdivision. That's just not going to happen across any spot along the Eastern Coast or the Jersey Shore. It's literally impossible. One, we don't have the land to do so, and two, no one has that kind of money in order to knock something down and build it up. So, and it's also a large part of our tourism, right? We have to fit as many people in there as possible between the months of pretty much May to September, and that makes up I think we have about 100 million guests every year come into New Jersey. Or at least the Jersey Shore, Monmouth County in general, and that's a large portion of our economy. So we have to have as many people there as possible from, summer rentals for the whole summer, from weekly, monthly, whatever the case might be, even just a weekend. I'm going on a bachelor party trip, this weekend as I'm making this video. So, it just fills up the economy. So a lot of people that are going to be down there, you're either buying a place for live, a summer house, or believe it or not, a lot of investors still, even at that price range, can walk in there and Airbnb these places out for a ton of money. So you have to deal with a lot of different potential buyers, whereas other parts of Monmouth County, you might be dealing with just the regular, single family owner that's going to be living there full time. So that's going to be the East Coast of Monmouth County. I would say if you want to divide it up by a certain point, take the Garden State Parkway, anything east of that, that's going to be like your Jersey Shore, smaller lot sizes. Depending on the area, right? If you go into a little farther north into that Rumson area near the Navesink River, obviously going to be a little bit different there. You're going to have, some pretty large lot sizes and some more mansions, but you're dealing in a much, much wealthier area. On the western side of the parkway, you're going to be dealing with places like Colts Neck, Freehold, Howell, larger lot sizes. You'll have some couple acres like we saw in that really expensive house, but also some townships that have farmland preserved. Again, land you really can't build upon at the same time, and they're not going to let you build upon it. So even when you have more acreage, you're not going to be seeing these massive subdivisions also come up over there. A lot of it's been developed already. In the early, say like the late 90s, early 2000s, a lot of people came in there. Toll Brothers was a huge one, especially in that Freehold area, Manalpin too, Marlboro. But these places have a lot of land that will never be built upon. For instance, Manalpin and Freehold share Monmouth Battlefield State Park, where one of the Revolutionary War battles took place. That's never being built upon. No matter what happens in our area, no matter how much housing we need, that land is 1000% preserved from here on till the rest of eternity. Same thing with Freehold. We have a bunch of farmland over here, and it kind of goes into that Jackson. We have Turkey Swamp Park that has acreage upon acreage over there. Family campgrounds, Michael Ty Park, another big one over there. So, regardless, it's just there's some land that's just never going to be built upon in Monmouth County. There's contracts on there, some like 100-year locks. It's not going to happen. So we have an area where we have a growing population, and because of this, obviously it gets a little tight on space. Prices are going to rise consistently as well. But anyway, back to the lot sizes. Sorry for my little rant right there. Freehold, for instance, we'll go into this community. I just know this is a bigger one. And look at the lot size difference between here. These are going to be a couple acres on each of these homes versus, Belmar, you're talking about a 50 by 100 lot. I don't even know if is that a quarter acre, might even be like a tenth of an acre at that point. So just a massive, massive difference between whether you're buying on the Jersey Shore or whether you're buying in, more than the western side of Monmouth County. So, and don't get me wrong, the price ranges can kind of vary almost the same, but it depends on what kind of style you're getting. A bigger home, more land, smaller home, but you're buying near the water. There's only so many of those available as well. But it's an awesome area to live in. We have townhomes and condos. You have single families like we're just talking about, beach houses, mobile homes if you want to go that route. Literally everything you possibly imagine, you're going to find it somewhere in Monmouth County. There's going to be a spot for you. If you're talking about just like a median sales price, like I mentioned before, about $650,000 to live here, but each town's going to be different. If you want to go for a more first-time home buyers market up in this northern part, Hazlitt's a really big area for that. Manasquan's got some affordable areas. Same with Middletown, depending on where you're at. So, and they have good commutability into New York City at the same time. So, you're just gonna have to talk to an agent, hopefully me, obviously, as you're watching this video. But we'll basically get a game plan going, settle you down, and figure out where exactly you can live, what you can afford comfortably. We don't want to make sure you overspend, and you just go that route. So, again, plenty of home options for you in Monmouth County, and that's just kind of a small rundown about the entire place. Next up, we're going to want to cover some shopping and dining options. The biggest shopping options, in my opinion, are probably going to be the two, or at least the two biggest, are going to be the Freehold Raceway Mall, obviously located in Freehold. That's going to be more for the western side of Monmouth County. And on the eastern side, you're going to have the Jersey Shore Premium Outlets. This is going to be located in Tinton Falls. Now, those are going to be your two biggest ones, right? Freehold Raceway Mall has about 150 to 200 stores, I think, at their maximum. And then Jersey Shore Premium Outlets has about like 100 of them. So plenty of different shopping there. On top of that, on your main highways here, so Route 9 and Route 35, also kind of on the west and eastern side. Route 9 is going to have a plenty of different, big box retailers over there for anything from Target to Costco, BJ's, just depending on what town. And some towns have all of them in there. It just all depends. It's a very highly populated area, and anytime you live close to that Route 9, you're going to be able to find something within about 5 or 10 minutes, and it's very good for a lot of families that live there, just the convenience of just having that. The same can be said for Route 35, and I'm talking from Hazlitt all the way down to, I think it runs all the way down to Belmar, right? Yeah, it turns into a different route once you get to Ocean County. Even Manasquan at the same time. So that Route 35 is going to be basically the eastern side, or the eastern part of Monmouth County is Route 9 in a sense. So you're gonna have the same stores up and down there, from Target again to Costco, Walgreens. I mean, literally name it, Home Depot, Lowe's. The list goes on and on. So that's going to be like your big spots on both sides of the county. And again, Freehold Raceway Mall, Jersey Shore Premium Outlets, those are gonna be your top two. When it comes to restaurants, this list can go for miles and miles, pretty much. I mean, I just typed in restaurants in Monmouth County up here, and these are just a couple that came up. I would say the top destinations if I'm going out somewhere place to eat, maybe want to try something new. Asbury Park, Belmar, Red Bank, and even Freehold too. Freehold's a pretty good one. That's more on the western side, but a lot of the shore towns, that's like a bit, because it's obviously how touristy it is, very destination oriented. They're gonna have a lot of good restaurants, and not even those big box chains. We're talking like everything. Every name you see here is pretty much not a chain restaurant. Klein's over in Belmar, phenomenal seafood restaurant. Love going there. Had a great meal. I was just there probably within the last maybe 2 months, actually closer to 2 months ago. But phenomenal place to go check out. Freehold, Charcoal. In the borough down here, they have a bunch of different spots. So this little portion of West Main Street down here in the Freehold borough area, awesome place to go, especially during the summer. A lot of outdoor eateries. Charcoal is just the one that's popping up right now, but that's a great steak place too. Little pricey, don't get me wrong, but you're getting what you pay for in that one. Rooney's Oceanfront over in Rumson over here. It's a really good area as well. Not Rumson. Which one's that? That's Monmouth Beach, actually, right? Yeah. So that's a pretty good spot over there. Obviously, as you can see from the photo just popped up, nice little view. You can see right out. I think Butcher's Box is over in there in Long Branch as well. It's going to be a steak joint, but basically anywhere you go up and down the shore, you're going to find really good pizza, Italian food, steak, seafood. I don't know, whatever other cuisine you could possibly imagine, it's going to be up and down there. There's a really good Brazilian steakhouse in Belmar. It does a rodizio style where they bring out meats on different skewers. You try them, and test them out a little bit. They just bring them on just kind of round after round. So you really can't go wrong. Every place in Monmouth County is going to have a good spot to eat pretty much. But we also have a great small business oriented area too. So in these places, they're going to give you much better quality than you're going to find at a Texas Roadhouse or Longhorns. I actually like Texas Roadhouse. That's probably the best bread ever. But just kind of give you an idea of what I mean by that. So anyway, that's pretty much the top 5 things I really want to cover for Monmouth County. There's plenty of other ones. I'm sure if you might want to see them or hear about them, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. Give me an idea. This way I can make a video for you specifically. Love to get some feedback on it, so just let me know. But yeah, whether you're 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, even a year out, doesn't matter to me. Let's get you on the right path towards your real estate goals. And if you're looking to move to a different part of the Monmouth County area, feel free to reach out. You'll see the 2 videos popping up here, and hopefully that'll help out a little bit too. Have a great day.